Has someone ever just vanished on you? No warning, no message, no closure, just silence? And then you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Did I say something? Were they ever real at all? Ghosting hurts because it's emotional whiplash. One moment you're building a connection. The next, you're talking to the void. But here's the thing, not everyone ghosts for the same reason. Some do it out of fear, others out of pride, and a few out of sheer emotional confusion. In today's episode, we're unpacking which zodiac signs are most likely to ghost without explanation, and what's really going on beneath the surface. We'll use the Insights Discovery color system to explore their motivations, emotions, and blind spots, and most importantly, how you can navigate relationships with them in a way that keeps you both grounded and ghost-free. Part 1. Fiery Reds. The fire signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Bold, passionate, impulsive, all the fire signs are most likely to ghost in a relationship. Aries, the vanishing flame. Aries burns bright until they don't. They're impulsive lovers, quick to chase, and just as quick to disappear when the excitement fades. They ghost not out of cruelty, but because they hate confrontation. To them, saying, "I'm not feeling it anymore," feels like emotional quicksand. Why they ghost? They lose interest fast and don't like explaining themselves. Aries lives in the now. If the spark's gone, they move. The downside, they don't realize how their silence can leave others feeling disposable. How to deal: don't chase. Let them come back when their head cools off. When you do reconnect, keep things light and direct. They respect honesty and confidence more than guilt-tripping. Leo, the proud disappearing act. Leos crave admiration. They shine bright in the beginning, but if they sense rejection or emotional vulnerability, their pride takes over and they ghost before you can. Why they ghost? To protect their ego. Ghosting, for Leo, is a defense mechanism. They'd rather disappear than risk being the one left behind. The downside, it makes them appear self-centered, when deep down they just want reassurance. How to deal? Don't take their silence personally. Give them space to reemerge, but when they do, set boundaries. Leos respect those who hold their ground and match their confidence. Sagittarius, the freedom ghost. Sagittarius ghosts because they value independence above all. They love connection, but when things start feeling too heavy or restrictive, their instinct is to escape. Why they ghost? They equate emotional intensity with being trapped. If they sense demands or expectations, they vanish to protect their freedom. The downside, their avoidance of emotional depth can cost them real intimacy. How to deal? Keep things adventurous and low pressure. Don't demand closure. They'll come back around when they feel safe again. Part 2. Sunshine Yellows. The air signs. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Playful, social, unpredictable. All three air signs have the tendency to ghost on you. Gemini, the master of the fade-out. Gemini doesn't ghost, they fade. The texts get shorter, the replies slower, until they disappear entirely. Why they ghost? Overthinking. They like to keep their options open and can't stand emotional pressure. When connection starts to feel too serious, they overanalyze it, and instead of communicating, they vanish. The downside, their inconsistency makes them seem emotionally flaky. How to deal? Keep things mentally stimulating. Don't pressure them for instant clarity. Gemini returns when the energy feels playful again. Libra, the people pleaser, vanish. Libras hate conflict and discomfort. Ghosting, for them, feels like the easiest escape from emotional awkwardness. Why they ghost? They can't handle confrontation or the idea of hurting you. Ironically, ghosting feels like the kind option to them. The downside, their silence leaves others feeling confused and invalidated. How to deal? Be graceful but clear. When they reappear, express your feelings calmly. They'll respond better to diplomacy than drama. Aquarius, the emotional ghost. Aquarius ghosts not because they're cold, but because they process emotions logically. When things get too emotional or clingy, they detach. Why they ghost? They need mental clarity. Too much emotion feels chaotic. The downside, they come off emotionally unavailable, though they're often just confused about how to feel. How to deal, give them time. Don't demand emotional explanations. Instead, engage their mind. If they feel you respect their space, they often reappear out of curiosity. Part 3, Earth Greens. The Earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Grounded, loyal, but emotionally reserved. Out of the Earth signs, only the Virgos and Capricorns are most likely to ghost, not Taurus. Virgo, the overthinker, ghost. Virgos ghost quietly. They analyze every detail of the relationship until they convince themselves it won't work. And instead of talking about it, they withdraw. Why they ghost? Fear of imperfection. They don't want to hurt you, but they also can't tolerate chaos or uncertainty. The downside, they leave without closure, thinking silence is cleaner than confrontation. How to deal? If they pull back, give them reassurance and clarity. They crave emotional safety, and once they feel it, they'll return with explanations. Capricorn, the disappearing act of self-preservation. Capricorn ghosts when they realize something isn't sustainable. To them, practicality always trumps emotion. Why they ghost? They'd rather disappear than waste time on something that feels off course. The downside, they underestimate how cold and transactional this feels to others. How to deal? Be consistent and direct. Capricorns need to see loyalty and stability before they invest again. Part 4, Cool Blues. The water signs: Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Emotional, sensitive, protective, only the Cancers and Pisces are likely to ghost. The Scorpios aren't afraid of the dark, difficult conversations. Cancer, the emotional retreat. Cancer ghosts when they feel unappreciated or emotionally unsafe. Why they ghost? Self-protection. When their feelings get hurt, they retreat into their shell, not to punish you, but to heal. The downside, their silence can feel manipulative or confusing. How to deal? Approach them with warmth and empathy. Ask, "Did I say something that hurt you?" Rather than, "Why did you ghost me?" They'll open up when they feel safe again. Pisces, the dreamy disappearing act. Pisces ghosts when reality breaks their fantasy. They fall deeply, but when things get messy or uncertain, they quietly drift away. Why they ghost? Avoidance of emotional confrontation. They can't bear disappointing others. The downside, their silence creates confusion and emotional residue. How to deal? Don't guilt trip them. Instead, gently invite honesty. I'd rather have the truth than silence. They value compassion and will often re-engage when they feel understood. So, what's the real takeaway? Ghosting isn't always about malice. It's about emotional capacity. Some signs ghost to protect their pride, others to protect their peace. The truth is, ghosting says more about where someone is emotionally than about your worth. Learning how each sign processes disconnection helps us understand that sometimes silence is just a reflection of fear, not rejection. So, the next time someone disappears, don't chase closure from them. Find it in understanding yourself. If you enjoyed this deep dive into zodiac psychology, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more astrology and relationship insights every week, and grab your copy of our book, The Happiness Manual, on Patreon, linked in the bio. Because love isn't about who stays. It's about who shows up emotionally, consistently, and consciously.